So today we're going to do something a little different. Olivia was telling me about, I guess I would call it a discipline that her and Anthony have in their household that I thought was important. So let me just set the stage here. In our practice, what we typically see looks something like this. And I'm going to paint with some broad strokes here. The male takes care of all the finances, pays all the bills, does the tax return, all the financial stuff. The male typically dies first as well. And we have a lot of widow clients. And what we normally find is they really don't know where all the data is at. They may not know how to access certain accounts. They may be all set up in the husband, the male's user ID and passwords. So we're going to talk about that. And then when Olivia was telling me what her and Anthony do, I was really impressed, and you're going to get more of that as we go into this. But I thought we would try to paint a picture on what we see and then perhaps a better way to approach it. Fair enough? All right, Olivia, here we go. So I just explained what we typically see in our practice, especially with older couples. And older is relative. Perhaps for some people watching this, older is 40, but what I'm kind of thinking of is 50 and older is what we see, this pretty common pattern where the male takes care of everything, dies first, and now we have a female widow. Tell me, or tell them what you told me that you do in your household.
Yes, so Anthony is my husband, for those of you who don't know, and we do quarterly budget meetings where we will sit down, we pull out the Excel spreadsheet, we look through all of our bank statements, credit card statements, see what our expenses are, what's going out, what's coming in, and then we also do every January an annual net worth statement, just so we're both on the same page with where we're at with our finances, because it is really complex. And something that we discussed as part of our marriage is we didn't want one person just knowing or controlling everything.
Right. So for those of you that don't know, Olivia's my daughter. And I can tell you, Courtney and I have more of a, I don't want to call it traditional, we have more of a one-sided way we do things. I pay all the bills. I have all the user ID and passwords. I am typically the one that's in charge of managing the assets. If I die first, I have 8 pages, legal pages, of user ID and passwords. That isn't as optimal as having, I'll call it 50-50 participation. Could she get through it? Yeah. And would our daughter help her get through it? Of course. But it's just not the optimal situation that you've described. So can you kind of tell us what this has looked like? Because you guys have been married how many years now?
3.5 years. It'll be 4 this July. But we've been together, we've been in a relationship for almost 15 years.
Yeah. So in your married life, is this something you guys started doing from the get-go? Did you read about it somewhere? How did you, I'll say it this way, how did you know to do this?
Yes, so both of us, before we got married, we both had to pay our own bills, manage our own finances. So we were always talking about it throughout college. And then after we got engaged, we spoke together and knew we wanted to do joint finances, because that was a decision in and of itself. Mm-hmm. Do we join? Do we stay separate? So after we decided to do joint finances, then we started following some content creators on YouTube in the financial space, and they had recommended this annual net worth meeting with your partner. So from that sprouted or bloomed the budget, the quarterly budget meetings. So we didn't come up with it all on our own, and we both had some financial tools that we already had, so then coming together, it strengthened it.
So in your nearly 4 years of marriage, this has been a routine. You guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but you put it on your calendars. This isn't like we'll get to it next quarter. You actually schedule it. Is that right?
Yes, I am very type A and I am a big planner. So Anthony and I have a shared Google Calendar, and we will put it on there. We'll be like, okay, so it's Q3, Q4, it's time to look over our budget again. We know we've had some changes, like selling a car, not having that car payment, things like that. And so then we look at our calendars and we're like, okay, Friday night, we're going to do it. And we also try and make it a little more fun.
Right.
Because talking about finances and, your bills is not always the most fun. So we'll like make a steak dinner or, something that is just a little more than the average night. And then usually after our annual net worth statement meeting, we plan a vacation or something.
Gotcha.
So then it's like, okay, we have these funds that we can use as we would like. Let's do something fun with it now that we got over all the bills part.
Is the trip afterwards kind of the reward system for doing it, or is it just flows that way? Is that intentional that you do something fun together after you've had these meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
It is intentional.
Have you been in this business long enough or talked to enough of your friends to be able to know if this is a generational type difference, or are you guys unique in your age group that you do this?
So, especially when we first got married, we were one of the first in our friend group to get married. None of our friends were doing this. None of them were talking even about their own separate finances together. And then I have a couple of friends where they will try and start a budget. They get the Excel sheet ready, and them and their partner are both all in on it, but life gets busy. They have kids, things happen. Mm-hmm. So at least from my experience, I believe it's more of a unique situation.
I can definitely tell you from my generation, it's unique how you're doing it. And I guess I'll just kind of close up with these thoughts. You can do it however you want. I can tell you I've seen it done a variety of different ways. Some work really well, some don't. I would encourage you to consider these meetings. That's how impressed I was when Olivia was telling me about it. Now, Courtney and I don't. I'm just going to be completely transparent. We don't do that. Will we do it someday in the future? I don't know. But if you can make that part of your habit, I just think everyone's going to be better off for it. Any final thoughts from you?
I think it has strengthened our relationship, and it just helps knowing that you don't have to be worried or scared. Talking about finances is not taboo. It should be part of a healthy partnership and relationship.
I agree. You want to say thanks for watching?
Thanks for watching.